14, I got a magic, the ability to disappear. Before then, I never imagined I could become invisible in front of people who once know me so well. I used to have two very close friends, and we entered the same middle school together. 7th grade was the happiest time of my entire middle school life. The three of us squeezed together during breaks, whispering inside jokes only we understood. Sometimes a single glance was enough for us to burst into laughter. I still remember one afternoon after school, we stopped by a convenience store, bought one ice cream each, clicked them together like a toast, laughing all the way home until our stomachs hurt. The sunset stretched our shadows long across the pavement, and I thought quietly to myself, we will be best friends forever. But in 8th grade, I slowly realized maybe I was the only one still holding on to that vision of us. The two of them went out together many times during the holidays. I only found out long after school started through someone else's casual remark. One day, the three of us were walking together. Well, they linked arms, chatting and laughing about a topic the three of us once loved. I thought the moment had come. I could join naturally, just like before. So I added a sentence to their conversation. Then, my invisibility spell activated. The exchanger glanced, suddenly quickened their path, and walked past me. No response. Not even a look. At that moment, in the bursting hallway, I was the only one who stood frozen, my cheeks burning. But I wasn't ready to give up yet. I just wanted an answer. So, a few days later, I gathered all my courage. Wait, I called out, running up to them. My voice was shaking. I just want to know. Why? Why did you suddenly stop talking to me? Please tell me. If it's my fault, I will change. They froze for a second. The girls who had known me the longest sneered and said, "Do we need a reason?" Then she grabbed the other girl's hand and they walked away from me, recalling the past moments we started and thinking of how things had taken such a sudden downturn. I felt my thought was tightened. That night, I went home, sat on the edge of my bed, holding a toy, and cried so hard that I couldn't breathe. My mom sat beside me, gently patting my back, listening to every broken sentence that trembled out. They poured out words, comfort, and concern. And some words I completely didn't understand at that time. She told me that I was like a mirror, always busy reflecting other people's lives, hoping that by doing so, I could stand there in the brightness with them to be seen and trapped. But if I choose to be a mirror, the moment someone else's life moved away, I would fall into darkness. My mom told me to stop being a mirror and to become my own light. I was 14. Her words felt too abstract. I couldn't understand and didn't think I could put them into actions. So the 14th year of my life became a cycle of running into the same wall. I tried to fit in, but it didn't work. Went silent for few days. I tried again, and still didn't work. I feel I had thrown into the darkest corner of the world, alone, helpless, unknowing not what to do. But it was also during those days of being forgotten that I did something I thought was trivial. I wrote my first diary entry ever. Actually, it was just 2 sentences copied from the internet. You live to be yourself, not to explain yourself. The meaning of life lies in experience. And at the end, I casually added the sentence I still didn't understand. Be your own light. I began learning how to communicate with myself. I would stand on the balcony, letting the wind brush against my face. Sometimes it was just a soft breeze. Sometimes it was a strong gust. Each one felt like it was sweeping away my pressure. When the rain fell on my face, I didn't hide. It felt like the rain was washing away all of my grievance. When sunlight warmed my back, I feel the strength rising from within. I refocused on my love for dance. Whenever I had free time, I would turn the music up as loud as I could and practice in front of the mirror again and again, not to impress anyone and not to prove anything, simply because in the moment I moved, I could feel a surge of energy rising from deep inside me. Sweat soaked my hair and ran down my forehead. Yet all I felt was exhilaration. In those moments, I was immersed entirely in my own rhythm, my own joy. I was 100% free. In those moments, when I didn't need to say anything and I didn't have to care about others' opinion, it suddenly became clear to me. I wasn't invisible, at least not to myself. Even without friends beside me, I wasn't living in shadows. Had I become my own glimmer of light? I didn't know. And then I turned 15. Entering high school, a new environment, new classmates. I was fortunate to meet my sincere and warm-hearted friends and get rid of the gloom in my middle school. I began embracing life with new energy. I became the publicity director. I founded my own club. I tried to perform on stage. I ran at the sport meet, and I started a red note account and poured my heart into creating content. None of these were to prove anything to anyone. It was simply because I wanted to grow into someone more real, more alive. Now, sometimes a light does shine soft onto me. Things I once longed for return. But I suddenly realized that I no longer feel desperate for someone else's light to shine on me. I'm living my life, and all I need is to illuminate myself little by little. One night, when I was 16, I was chatting with a friend, feeling relaxed. Words flowed out of me with ease. Out of the blue, she looked at me and said, "You always seem so full of life." At that moment, something brushed lightly against my heart, not for the price, but because her words made me suddenly realize that girl, who once tiptoed through conversations, had finally come alive. I froze. A rush of emotions hit me, and a voice in my head whispered, "Really? Or did she really mean it?" Before I could overthink, my body reacted. Hot tears fell. My thoughts tightened. I struggled to hold back the sobs. I didn't know where those emotions come from. Maybe from a corner of my heart where the shadows of being abandoned had never left. But at that time, I suddenly felt I was different from the girl who cried in my mom's arms years ago. I still don't really know what kind of person I've become, and I still don't fully understand what be your own light means. But my life, quietly and gradually, has given that sentence a meaning of its own. Maybe a light has begun to glow inside me, not as dazzling as the sun, but is strong enough to quietly illuminate me and be the source of my strength. I'm no longer afraid of being alone. I no longer doubt myself when someone leaves, because I finally understand the warm feeling of standing in the light doesn't come from trying to please others or begging to be seen. It grows quietly from the moment that I learn to see myself. And today, I like to irresponsibly, in a way, to pass this word on to you. Be your own light. You don't need to be the brightest light in the world. You only need to shine brightly enough to illuminate yourself and your own path. And I hope you can give this sentence your own meaning. Thank you.